hormone on him. Uh-oh, I dropped him in there. Houston, we have a problem. Okay, so this may be an issue. Something we can all learn together. This guy is completely coated with hormone now, and I can't get him out. There we go. Okay. And I'm covered in hormone as well. So this one we're going to... Hey everybody, this is Danny with MyFigStix. Today we're continuing our series on fig stick propagation. Last week, the fig pop. This week, sand, but in a much smaller tote. Y'all, I don't want to have to get a dolly or a pallet jack to move my sand propagation projects around. So we're going to try it in a different tote, a couple different methods, different hormone. So stick with me for just a few minutes. Let's get to propagating some fig sticks in sand. We're going to do it a little bit differently than we did in my last one. By the way, I'm going to get y'all an update. If you haven't seen it already, that means I haven't put it out, but it's coming, definitely coming. Hopefully we've got roots in those, but I'm going to do sand a little different this time, smaller totes. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try one tote, this deeper tote. I'm going to try fig sticks standing up vertically, and then in this smaller tote, I'm going to try some horizontally. I want to see if there's a difference, but we're going to get going with that. I have my pruners here just in case. Some of these I think I can cut in half. My little grafting knife, this is going to help me score the bottoms of the fig sticks, so that will help promote root growth. With these, last time I used a little bonsai paste. With these, I'm going to go ahead and use the wax. I've got that melted and ready. And again, I'm going to use the Hormodin 3 rooting hormone. Just for reference, this is simply an ibuprofen bottle that I cleaned up really well. I put some of the Hormodin in here because I don't want to take my fig sticks and stick them in this brand new, almost full to the top bottle of Hormodin. Now, the Hormodin is a dry powder rooting hormone. Most of the people that I'm seeing for cuttings really like the Hormodin. Lazy Dog, I think Ross, Mike Kincaid, there's quite a few of them that use the Hormodin 3. So that's what I'm going to be using with these. Obviously, I have my fig sticks. Now, these came from Profig, and they came in very quickly. I think it was under 2 weeks, about 10 days or so from the time that I bought them to the time that I received them. And then I've got some labels. Y'all, I know I can't be the only one, but I have a brand new box of plant labels. I can't find it anywhere, so I'm recycling. I've scratched it out. I have blanks on this side. That's going to help me keep up with that. I did print some little labels. Maybe I put those on those label tags, but this is what I'm using. So let's get down to how we're going to propagate these in the sand. In this tote, we're going to do the vertical method. I'm going to stand them up and we're going to see how that goes. One thing I want to tell y'all about fig cuttings, I think in the past, I've been almost like the Grim Reaper to fig cuttings. I've loved them to death. I've killed them in pretty much any way you can think of. But one of the things that I've noticed and read up on and watched videos on, don't let them be too moist. They say, especially with the fig pops, 5-to-1 ratio. So 5 parts rooting medium, 1 part water. With the fig pops, I was blown away at how little water it took to hydrate the rooting medium, whether it was Pro Mix or the sand perlite mixture. Completely blown away. So with this sand, same thing this time. I added some water, but a little bit at a time, mixed, a little bit at a time and mixed. Y'all, this sand is not nearly as hydrated as the huge tote that I have, but yet it is still very, very moist. I don't know if you can see, it holds together very well when I squeeze it. I think it's plenty moist. And so I think that's a big thing that I've been doing in the past is just too much water. So let's try to stick with the 5-to-1. Y'all, I don't have a scale that I could really weigh the sand on. I was just very, very careful adding little bits of water at a time. Y'all, a few cups of water is it. That's all I used on this tote. This is a deeper tote. I think it's around 6 inches deep. Now with this tote, This is the one we're going to lay them down. But I did the same thing, a little bit of water. This one's probably only got a cup or so of water in it. And that's it. And the sand is plenty moist. You can see holds together very well. So these are going to be the ones that we're going to lay down. So let's go ahead and get to our cuttings and let's put the wax on. Let's get them ready to go in the sand. First things first, let's figure out which ones of these I'm going to lay down, which ones I'm going to stand up. Some of these I can even cut in half. I'm going to start with the Hormodin Roja. This one I can definitely cut in half. The nodes are perfectly spaced. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and a terminal. I'm going to nip that off. In fact, I'll just do that right now. I don't want this guy trying to grow off the top, so we're just going to nick that right off. There we go. So that is gone. So I've really got 7 nodes here. So I'm going to cut this one in half. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I'm going to cut it right here, right where the label is. Imagine that. That's not so wonderful, but it is what it is. So cut that in half. And then what I'm going to do, this is a pretty green cutting. I don't know how well y'all can see that. Maybe I can get zoomed in. Pretty green. So this is the top, obviously. I'll show y'all this again. In fact, I'll come around so y'all can see it better. But if you look at this cutting, you can see the leaf scar here and then the little bud right there. Hopefully that's zoomed in or focusing well enough for you. So you have leaf scar and then a bud. The bud is always above the leaf scar. So the bud points up. Okay, so there's that information. Now, one thing I'm going to do, just like I did before, we've got all of this extra space down here. I don't really want all that extra space. So what I'm going to do is cut that, and I always like to cut at an angle. And now I have my Hormodin Roja. I've got 3 really good nodes on this one. I've got my angle cut. This one is green because literally there's sap in it. So this one's got to happen today. Okay, so I cut the angle at the bottom so that I always know where the top is. Just makes it easier. You don't have to look for those nodes. If you can do that right away, it's great. I'm going to dip the top in the wax. I'll usually give it 2 dips in the wax just to make sure that I'm well sealed. Y'all, I use a little Scentsy thing I picked up at a garage sale or something for next to nothing. And then I just use Gulf wax, cheap wax that you buy at Walmart. Heat it up. By the way, if you forget to plug your Scentsy in, you can take this top off, put it on a pizza dish or a cookie pan or whatever in the oven at 350, 15 minutes, your wax is melted. Ask me how I know. But so I've got that one covered up. I think this one I'm going to lay down. Let's see. Get one of my labels, and I'll get a Hormodin Roja. I think I dropped or the wind blew my labels. All right, so let's see. Hormodin Roja. All right. So I'm going to just put this label on my little plant tag. And then this one, I'm going to lay in the sand. First, let's put the Hormodin on. So again, this is simply an ibuprofen bottle that I'm using, cleaned up so I don't have to put my sticks down in the actual bottle of Hormodin. Hopefully y'all can see that. This is a powder. It's a dry powder, but that has the bottom well covered as well as the second node. So we should be good with coverage there. The wax is already dry on the top. So that wax is going to keep our cuttings from drying out. And then I am just going to bury him in the sand. I'm going to get a different angle on this to help y'all see these, but let me do that. I'm going to go ahead and get all of these dipped in wax and cut the ones that I can cut, get my labels ready, and then I will get back to y'all as I'm sticking these in the stand, but I'll have a little different angle so that y'all can see better what I'm doing. Okay, so I've got everything cut. What I did was I cut angles on the bottoms. I've waxed the tops. I've also got labels ready to go. So this is a Colonel Littman's Black Greek. Again, you can tell top. Brian did a great job. He labeled the tops, but you can see the leaf scar and the node. So that's how we know node always goes towards the top. So this one I'm going to stick vertically, and I've already got it dipped in the wax. So let's get some hormone on it. So, and from what I understand, this powdered hormone a lot or a little goes a long ways. So we've got that coated pretty well. And then because I forgot my dibbler, which I'll go get, but I'm going to put a hole. Let's see, I'll put it up here so y'all can see it. Now this tote here, the sand's probably 6 inches deep, but what you can see here, I've got a node and another node here, and then I'm going to have a node sticking out. So I'm going to go in that deep and pack the sand in around it. So let's see how that will do. Let's go ahead. I'll do one more that I'm going to stand up. Oops, let me put the label on this one so that I don't forget who is who. And then the next one I'm going to do, this is a Coldodom Gris. Y'all, it was just kind of, it's so knotty, I just didn't want to cut it. So got my base scarred here. I got the wax. One thing I didn't do on the Colonel Littman's, we'll let that be a test. I didn't scar the bottom at all other than my cut. So I'm going to go ahead and scar this in a couple places, but I'm also going to remove some of the bark and cambium. Let's take a little bit over here as well. There we go. So removing that bark and cambium just helps promote that root growth, kind of tells it where it needs to start growing. So again, waxed. Let's get some hormone on this one as well. All right. So this one, we're going to have 1, 2, 3 nodes. We'll have 3 nodes in the sand. We'll put this one right here next to Colonel Littman. All right, so the Coldodom Gris will go in here. This tote's a little at an angle, so I'm hoping that I don't have these two laid over. And then I'm going to get my label on him. All right, so now let's do a couple that we're going to lay down, and then I'll finish this up, and then I'll get back with you guys. Actually, I've got a Coldodom Roja right here laying in the sand. So actually, this Coldodom Roja, I'm going to stand up. So let's get some hormone. Let's scratch him. This one's the green one. This one's very green. So I'm going to hope that he does well. He's going to need lots of humidity, y'all. If you don't know, these green cuttings, they need that humidity to keep from drying out. Some reason the green ones will dry out even faster than the others. So this one's a little short. I may have gotten him so short it's hard to get the hormone on, but definitely got the hormone on him. Hopefully y'all can see all this, but I'll get him stuck. I'll put him right in front of Colonel Littman. All right, so this one's a little shorter. He's not going to have as much sticking out. He does have 2 nodes in, 2 nodes out. So let's, here he is. We'll get the label on that one. Oh, I'll have to figure out, maybe I'll have to rearrange those labels. Let's lay one down. So I'm going to use this TC12. This one's got 3 nodes on it. One of them is underneath the wax, but I've learned that that doesn't matter. It will still push right through that wax, just like it does the paraffin tape. So let's go ahead and scar this one. This one, you know what? I'm just going to lightly scar it. I'm not, maybe even just scratch it up. Just try something different. I did this with some air layers this year, and whew, I had some really good success just scraping them. So we'll try that. All right, this one's kind of short too. Get some rooting hormone on him. Uh-oh, I dropped him in there. Houston, we have a problem. Okay, so this may be an issue. Something we can all learn together. This guy's completely coated with hormone now, and I can't get him out. There we go. Okay. And I'm covered in hormone as well. So this one we're going to stick or lay in the sand. I am putting the angled down. I feel like that is going to aid in that rooting. So another thing, I'm kind of putting the lower half a little deeper in the sand, completely covered, and maybe the upper half not so much. So that's how I'm going to lay them down. I'm going to go ahead and finish these up. I've got 3 more is it. I'll get them stuck and then I'll get back with y'all. Okay, so I have all of these in sand now. So I took 7 cuttings and turned them into 10. So with the 2 fig pops I did on the last video, I turned these into 8. So I took 7, turned them into 10. Hopefully my little tags that you can see there are not tombstones. But I will keep checking in with y'all and let y'all know how this sand propagation goes. I will say this, I'm going to spritz these ASAP. The wind is blowing really hard today. I don't know how, or maybe you are hearing it in my microphone, but just in the amount of time that I've been putting these in, the tops of this sand is dried out. The underneath side is not, but I'm going to spritz these pretty good to keep them moist. Okay, y'all, so that's video 2, sand propagation. Let's see how this goes. I'm going to get the lid on these, and I'm going to try to keep that lid on as much as I can. I'm only going to remove it from time to time, maybe once a day, to spritz everything to make sure that they're all staying good and moist. We want that humidity high in those little totes. They're clear totes also. I did that because I feel like I need to be able to see the roots, because my ADD tells me tomorrow I'll be looking for roots, and I know it's not going to happen that fast, but you get my point. I'm going to put them in a dark room, probably on a heating pad as well. I want them to stay dark. I want the soil to stay plenty warm. We're looking for 78 degrees. That's kind of the prime number that we're looking for. But y'all, that is my next try at sand propagation. This is video 2. Be looking for the next one to come out in a few days, maybe a week. I think my next ones are going to be more of a traditional style, maybe a 4x9, maybe a 2.5-inch pot with Pro Mix. But be looking for that video to come out. Also, I went in to cool my phone off just a few minutes ago. Y'all, I got some new MyFigStix in. Fig bid came through SP Thorn. I got his in today. So yeah, those are going to be my next video. But thank y'all for sticking around, y'all. Fig addiction's a real thing. Just embrace it and join the Figolution. Thanks for watching.